on my knees, honey boy. Climb, or even though you're really free, sonny boy. There's no way of knowing. There's...
I beg your pardon, sir.
Yes, Jeeves, say on.
Mr. Glossop, sir.
What about him?
He's in the sitting room, sir.
Young Tuppy Glossop.
Yes, sir.
Desiring speech with me.
Yes, sir. Sir?
I only said, He must have known I'd be in my bath and in a strong strategic position to heave a wet sponge at him.
Yes, sir.
What ho?
Oh, hello, Bertie. I say, Bertie, I want to see you about something important. The fact is, Bertie, I'm engaged.
Engaged.
Engaged. Practically, that is.
Practically.
Yes, you'll like her, Bertie. Her name is Cora Bellinger. She's studying for opera. A wonderful voice she has. Also dark, flashing eyes and a great soul.
How do you mean, practically?
Well, it's this way. Before ordering the trousseau, there is one little thing she wants cleared up. You see, what with her great soul and all that, she has a rather serious outlook on life, and the one thing she absolutely bars it is anything in the shape of hearty humour. You know, practical joking and so forth. She said if she thought I was a practical joker, she would never speak to me again. And unfortunately, she appears to have heard about that rather little affair at the drones. I expect you've forgotten all about that, Bertie.
I have not.
Well, what I want you to do, old man, is to seize an early opportunity of taking Cora aside and categorically denying that there is any truth in the story. My happiness, Bertie, is in your hands, if you know what I mean.
Oh, all right.
Splendid fellow.
When do I meet this blighted female?
Don't call this blighted female, Bertie, old man. I'll bring her around here today for a spot of lunch.
What?
At 1:30.
Right.
Good. Fine. Thanks. I know I can rely on you.
Jeeves, where's breakfast? Oh, and Jeeves, it's lunch for 3 today.
Very good, sir.
You know, Jeeves, it's a bit thick. You remember my telling you about what Mr. Glossop did to me that night at the drones?
Yes, sir.
For months, I have been cherishing dreams of getting a bit of my own back. And now, so far from crushing him into the dust, I've got to fill him and his fiancée with rich food and generally rally round and be a good angel.
Life is like that, sir. I'll fetch the kibbered herrings.
I shouldn't wonder, Jeeves, if even herrings haven't troubles of their own.
Quite possibly, sir.
I mean, apart from getting kibbered.
Yes, sir.
And so it goes on, Jeeves. So it goes on.
Well, Bertie?
Well, what?
I mean, isn't she?
Oh, rather.
Wonderful eyes.
Oh, rather.
Wonderful figure.
Oh, quite.
Wonderful voice.
Terrific.
Bertie, do you think Jeeves could bustle me up a whiskey and soda? A large one. I'm parched.
But why did you have one at lunch? When Jeeves offered you a cocktail, you practically recoiled as from a serpent.
Well, it's this way. I have not actually ascertained what Cora's opinions are on the subject of taking slight snorts from time to time, but I thought it more prudent to lay off to indicate the serious mind. It's touch and go at the moment, and the smallest thing may turn the scale.
What beats me is how on earth you expect to make her think you've got a mind at all, let alone a serious one.
Well, let me tell you, my lad, I'm handling this affair with consummate generalship. Do you remember Beefy Bingham, who's at Oxford with us?
I ran into him only the other day. He's a parson now.
Yes, down in the East End where he runs a lads' club for local toughs. You know, the sort of thing. Cocoa and backgammon in the reading room and occasional bright, clean entertainments in the Odd Fellows' Hall. And I've been helping him. I don't suppose I've passed an evening away from the police for weeks. Cora's extremely pleased. And I've got her to promise to sing on Tuesday with Beefy's next clean, bright entertainment.
You have?
I absolutely have. And now mark my devilish ingenuity, Bertie. I'm going to sing too.
Why do you suppose that's going to get you anywhere?
Because the way I intend to sing the song, will prove to her that there are great depths to my nature whose existence she has not suspected. She will see that rough, unlettered audience wiping the tears out of its eyes, and she will say to herself, what ho! That old egg really has a soul. For it's not one of your mouldy comic songs, Bertie. No buffoonery of that sort for me. It's all about angels being lonely and whatnot.
What? You don't mean you're going to sing Sunny Boy?
Mrs. Gregson has just rung up on the telephone, sir. She desired me to say that she will be calling to see you in a few minutes.
Aunt Agatha, contents noted, Jeeves. Now listen, Tuppy. What have you done with him, Jeeves?
Mr. Glossop has left, sir.
But what made him shoot off like that?
Possibly Mr. Glossop did not wish to meet Mrs. Gregson, sir.
Why on earth not? But what do you make of this Bellinger female, Jeeves?
Miss Bellinger is a most impressive young lady, sir.
As impressive as an upstanding light heavyweight, Jeeves. I can't say I see eye to eye with Tuppy in his admiration. I don't know why it is, but women who have anything to do with opera always appear to run to surplus poundage. I knew Tuppy got her to run off a couple of tunes before she got stuck into the trough, and she can sing.
Most forcefully, sir.
I say, a plaster is still falling from the ceiling. And talking about singing, Jeeves, Mr. Glossop proposes to sing Sunny Boy at an entertainment down in the East End next Tuesday.
Indeed, sir.
Make a note to remind me to be there. He will infallibly get the bird, and I want to witness his downfall.
Very good, sir.
And when Mrs. Gregson arrives, I shall be in the sitting room.
Bertie, I want your help.
And you shall have it, Aunt Agatha.
You know that friend of yours, young Glossop?
He's just been lunching here.
He has he? Well, I wish you'd poisoned his soup.
We didn't have soup. And when you describe him as a friend of mine, I wouldn't quite say that the term absolutely squared with the facts. Some time ago, one night when we were dining together at the Drones, what is it that's biting you, Aunt Agatha?
It's that young hound, Glossop,
What's he been doing?
breaking Angela's heart.
Cousin Angela? Breaking her heart?
Yes, breaking Angela's heart.
You say he's breaking Angela's heart? How's he doing that?
With his neglect, his low, callous, double-crossing duplicity.
Duplicity is the word, Aunt Agatha. In treating of young Tuppy Glossop, it springs naturally to the lips. Let me just tell you what he did to me one night at the Drones. We had just...
Ever since the beginning of the season, until about 3 weeks ago, he was all over Angela. The sort of thing which, when I was a girl, we should have described as courting,
Or wooing.
well, wooing or courting, whichever you like.
Whichever you like, Aunt Agatha.
Anyway, he haunted the house, lapped up daily lunches, danced with her half the night and so on, till naturally the poor kid, who is quite off her oats about him, took it for granted that it was only a question of time before he suggested that they should feed for life out of the same trough. And now he's gone and dropped her like a hot brick, and I hear he's infatuated with some girl he met at a Chelsea tea party. A girl named... Now, what was it?
Cora Bellinger.
How do you know?
She was lunching here today.
He bought her.
Yes.
What's she like?
Pretty massive. In shape, a bit on the lines of the Albert Hall.
Did he seem very fond of her?
Couldn't take his eyes off the chassis.
The modern young man is a congenital idiot and wants a nurse to lead him by the hand and some strong attendant to kick him regularly at intervals of a quarter of an hour.
If you ask me, Aunt Agatha, I think Angela is well out of it. This Glossop is a tough baby. One of London's toughest. I was trying to tell you just now what he did to me one night at the Drones. First, having got me in sporting mood with a bottle of the Ripers, he betted I wouldn't swing myself across the swimming bath by the ropes and rings. I knew I could do it on my head, and so I took him on, exulting in the fun, so to speak. And when I'd done half the trip and was going as strong as damn it, I found he had looped the last rope back against the rail, leaving me no alternative but to drop into the depths and swim ashore in correct evening costume.
He did?
He certainly did. It was months ago, and I hadn't really got dry yet. You wouldn't want your daughter to marry a man capable of a thing like that.
Oh, on the contrary, you restore my faith in the young hound. I see there must be lots of good in him after all. And I want this Bellinger business broken up, Bertie.
How?
Well, I don't care how. Any way you please.
But what can I do?
Do. Why, you put the whole thing before your man Jeeves, one of the most capable fellows I ever met. Put the thing squarely up to Jeeves and tell him to let his mind play round the top.
There may be something in what you say, Aunt Agatha.
Well, of course there is. A little thing like this will be child's play to Jeeves. Get him working on it, and I'll look in tomorrow and hear the result. Goodbye, Bertie.
You rang, sir?
Jeeves, you have heard all?
Yes, sir.
I thought you would. My Aunt Agatha has what you might call a carrying voice. Has it ever occurred to you that if all other sources of income failed, she could make a good living calling the cattle home across the sands of Dean?
I had not considered the point, sir, but no doubt you are right.
Well, how do we go? What is your reaction? I think we should do our best to help and assist.
Yes, sir.
I'm fond of my Aunt Agatha, and I'm fond of my cousin Angela. Fond of them both, if you get my drift. What the misguided girl finds to attract her in young Tuppy, I cannot say, Jeeves, and you cannot say. But apparently she loves the man, which shows it can be done, a thing I wouldn't have believed myself, and is pining away like...
Patience on a monument,
like
sir.
patience, as you very shrewdly remark, on a monument. So we must cluster round. Bend your brain to the problem, Jeeves. It is one that will tax you to the uttermost.
Well, Bertie, what has Jeeves come up with?
Sheer intellect has been shining from his every feature, Aunt Agatha. The engine has been turning over.
You rang, sir?
Don't beat about the bush, Jeeves. Speak.
Very good, sir.
You have brooded.
Yes, sir.
With what success?
I have a plan, sir, which I fancy may produce satisfactory results.
Well, let's have it.
In affairs of this description, madam, the first essential is to study the psychology of the individual.
The what of the individual?
The psychology, madam.
He means the psychology. And by psychology, Jeeves, you imply...
The natures and dispositions of the principles in the matter, sir.
You mean what they're like?
Precisely, sir.
Does he talk like this when you're alone, Bertie?
Sometimes, occasionally. And on the other hand, sometimes not. Proceed, Jeeves.
Well, sir, if I may say so, the thing that struck me most forcibly about Miss Bellinger when she was under my observation was that hers was a somewhat hard and intolerant nature. I couldn't envisage Miss Bellinger applauding success. I could not so easily see her pitying and sympathising with failure. Possibly you will recall, sir, her attitude when Mr. Glossop endeavoured to light her cigarette with his automatic lighter. I thought I detected a certain impatience at his inability to produce the necessary flame.
True, Jeeves. She ticked him off.
Precisely, sir.
Let me get this straight. You think that if he goes on trying to light her cigarettes with his automatic lighter long enough, she will eventually get fed up and hand him the mitten? Is that the idea?
I merely mentioned the episode, madam, as an indication of Miss Bellinger's somewhat ruthless nature.
Ruthless is right. The Bellinger is hard-boiled. Those eyes, that chin, I could read them. A woman of blood and iron, if ever there was one.
Precisely, sir. I think, therefore, that should Miss Bellinger be a witness of Mr. Glossop appearing to a disadvantage in public, she would cease to entertain affection for him. In the event, for instance, of his failing to please the audience on Tuesday with his singing.
By Jove, Jeeves! You mean if he gets the bird, all will be off?
I should be greatly surprised if that is not the case, sir.
We cannot leave this thing to chance, Jeeves. Young Tuppy singing Sunny Boy is the likeliest prospect for the bird that I can think of. But no, you must see for yourself that we can't simply trust to luck.
We need not trust to luck, sir. I would suggest that you approach your friend, Mr. Bingham, and volunteer your services as a performer at his forthcoming entertainment. It could readily be arranged that you sang immediately before Mr. Glossop. I fancy, sir, that if Mr. Glossop were to sing Sunny Boy, directly after you too had sung Sunny Boy, the audience would respond satisfactorily. By the time Mr. Glossop began to sing, they would have lost their taste for that particular song and would express their feelings warmly.
Jeeves, you're a marvel.
Thank you, madam.
Jeeves, you're an ass.
What do you mean he's an ass? I think it's the greatest scheme I ever heard.
Me sing Sunny Boy at Beefy Bingham's Clean Bright Entertainment. I could see myself.
You sing it daily in your bath, sir. Mr. Wooster, Mrs. Gregson has a pleasant, light baritone.
Yes, he has.
Between singing Sunny Boy in one's bath, Jeeves, and singing it before a hall full of assorted bloodhound merchants and their young, there is a substantial difference.
Bertie, you'll sing and you'll like it.
I will not.
Bertie.
Nothing will induce me.
Bertie, you will sing Sunny Boy on Tuesday the 3rd approx. And sing it like a lark at sunrise. Or may an aunt's curse.
I won't.
Think of Angela.
Dash, Angela.
Bertie!
No, I mean, have it all.
Won't?
No, I won't.
That's your last word.
It is. Once and for all, Aunt Agatha, nothing will induce me to let out so much as a single note.
No, you listen to me, young Bertie, you abysmal young blot on the name of Wooster.
Jeeves, I shall be obliged if you will pop round to the nearest music shop and procure me a copy of Sunny.